just a pretty face.
Just to be whoever you are is no disgrace. Don't be scared if you don't fit in. Look who's in the reject bin. It's the Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Dolls like you and me. Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Made him perfectly. So if you got a bump on your nose or lumps on your toes, do not despair. Be like the Raggy Dolls and say I just don't care. 'Cause Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls
Raggy
are
Dolls.
happy just to be Raggy Dolls, Raggy Dolls, dolls like you and me.
It was a bright summer Friday. Florrie Fosdyke, the absent-minded canteen lady, was singing happily to herself while the kettle boiled for Mr. Grimes's morning cup of coffee.
My word, Florrie, he teased. You should be on the stage. Oh, Mr. Grimes, you gave me quite a turn. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but I am curious to know what you're so happy about. Have you won the pools?
Oh, good gracious no, hooted Florrie. It's nothing like that. Just some friends of mine. They've got a caravan, and, well, they've invited me for the weekend.
Dotty and Sadsack listened as Florrie explained all about the caravan. It was by the sea somewhere, and although she couldn't remember exactly where, she was looking forward to it very much. Mr. Grimes said that he was going away too.
Plenty of fresh air and exercise, he said. A 2-day hike. I'll be camping overnight.
Gosh, hissed Dotty. Come on, let's tell the others. Up in the treehouse, the Raggy Dolls made plans. They would hide in Mr. Grimes's car, take lots of food and drink, a map and a compass, Hi-Fi's telescope. Everyone was very excited, except Sadsack. He kept thinking of a nice, cosy caravan by the seaside.
Couldn't we go with Florrie instead?
He suggested.
Oh, no, declared Princess. Hiking and camping is much more fun.
But we haven't got a tent.
No problem, said Back to Front. We can make ourselves invisible and share old Grimes's tent.
But Mr. Grimes walks much faster than we can,
Reminded Lucy.
What if we can't keep up with him? What then?
Maybe we could find a cave or something, stammered Hi-Fi.
Ugh,
Shuddered Princess.
I'd rather not. Couldn't we make some sort of tent ourselves? Good thinking, said Dotty. We'll need sleeping bags too.
Sadsack groaned, but it was decided. Lucy and Princess would go to the storeroom to make sleeping bags, while the others would set about making a tent in the tool shed. Meanwhile, up in the office, Mr. Grimes was on the telephone to his sister Ethel. He, too, had a plan.
It's very kind of you, Ethel. That's right, it'll take me 2 days, so if you could drop me off on Saturday morning and pick me up on the other side Sunday afternoon... Right, agreed. Thanks again, Ethel. See you tomorrow morning.
Mr. Grimes sighed with pleasure. At last, he was going to conquer Rambler's Ridge. This was it, a real hike, no turning back. He began to sing.
Give me the great outdoors, that's the only place for me, among the rolling hills and moors.
By the time the factory hooter blew at the end of the day, the Raggy Dolls had finished their tent. It looked rather like a wigwam. Lucy and Princess arrived with the homemade sleeping bags.
It's very impressive, said Princess. Is it waterproof?
Yeah, of course it is, said Back to Front. And it comes to bits, so we can all carry a piece each.
Let's hope it doesn't come to bits while we're in it,
Giggled Lucy. Have no fear, said Claude, admiring the sleeping bags. We shall be, how you say, snug as the bug in the rugs.
Ugh,
Said Princess.
I'm hungry,
Said Sadsack.
good thinking,
Laughed Dotty. The next morning, when Mr. Grimes wasn't looking, the Raggy Dolls hid themselves with all their things in the boot of the car. There was plenty of room, as Mr. Grimes was mainly using the roof rack. Dotty went over the plan.
Now, as soon as the coast is clear, we'll climb out, find a signpost, and work out where the car is parked. Then we'll mark it on the map so we can find it again. That way, Mr. Grimes can go wherever he wants to, and so can we.
Let's hope it isn't very far,
thought Sad Sack. And soon the car moved off.
What's Ethel doing here?
Said Lucy.
I don't know, said Dotty. Maybe she's going hiking too.
It wasn't long before the Raggy Dolls realised their mistake. When they heard Ethel saying goodbye to Mr. Grimes, they had to change their plans fast. Back to Front quickly opened the boot from inside, and in no time at all, the Raggy Dolls were sitting on their equipment in the middle of nowhere, watching Ethel driving away. There was no sign of Mr. Grimes.
What are we going to do now?
Wailed Lucy.
Carry on regardless, said Dotty. I quite like the outdoor life.
Yeah, said Back to Front. We've got plenty of food, a tent, sleeping bags, a map and a compass. What more could we want? Sad Sack could think of lots of things, but he said nothing, except a sort of, Lucy was still upset.
What good is a map if we don't know where we are?
She protested. Look.
Let's find Rambler's Ridge on the map,
said Dotty. The Raggy Dolls soon found it. It was very long and ran from east to west.
Which end of it are we?
Said Lucy.
East or west?
No problem, said Back to Front, studying the compass. North is behind us, so this must be where we are. He pointed to the west side.
Oh, well done,
said Princess. The Raggy Dolls set off, hoping to catch up with Mr. Grimes, but there was no sign of him. On and on the Raggy Dolls trekked, until they all became quite exhausted. They decided to rest for a while. Hi-Fi took his telescope and scanned the horizon. Look, he said. There's Mr. Grimes.
Let me see,
said Dotty. She took the telescope and gasped. She could see someone else.
Never mind Mr. Grimes. I can see a rock climber, and he's in trouble.
Sure enough, the Raggy Dolls could see a man hanging from a cliff by a rope. He appeared to be unconscious. Raggy Dolls to the rescue, stammered Hi-Fi, and he called into his headphones for the mountain rescue team.
Calling mountain rescue. Calling mountain rescue.
There was nothing more the Raggy Dolls could do but wait. At last, the rescue team arrived, and they watched through the telescope as the man was hauled to safety and given first aid. He's all right now, said Back to Front. He's standing up.
I'm glad he's safe, said Lucy. But what about us? We'll never find Mr. Grimes now.
It was beginning to get dark.
There's only one thing for it, said Dotty. We'll make camp and look for him in the morning. I'm sure we'll feel better after a good night's sleep.
Everyone agreed, except Sad Sack. He was feeling very gloomy about spending the night on Rambler's Ridge. It wasn't until the tent was set up that he began to feel more cheerful. It looked so cosy and inviting. The Raggy Dolls sat down to a supper of sausages and beans under a night sky of billions of twinkling stars.
Oh, look,
exclaimed Lucy.
There's a shooting star. And there's another,
said Princess. The Raggy Dolls counted 7 in all.
That's one each,
yawned Back to Front.
Time for bed, I think,
said Dotty. Safely tucked up in their sleeping bags inside their cosy tent, the Raggy Dolls wished each other good night.
Oh, well,
thought Sad Sack.
Maybe the outdoor life is not so bad after all.
And by the time the next shooting star whizzed overhead, they were all fast asleep.
Raggy dolls, dolls like you and me. Raggy dolls, made imperfectly. So if you're not at ease with your knobbly knees and your fingers are all funds, stand on your 2 left feet and join our Raggy Doll chums. 'Cause Raggy dolls are happy just to be Raggy dolls.